So, hello, we are here with Freddie, Omar Epps and Darren McColl from SapientNitro, following the seminar Global Brands versus Global Celebrities, who is the smarter marketer. So if I could open it up and with Darren, and if you could tell us a little bit about the seminar and what the discourse was there.
Great. So I think the objective of today's panel, as an agency that works with a lot of global brands, was really to try and expand people's thinking about maybe how global brands are going to start evolving in the coming years. So we had a white paper that's coming out in the near future. We're noticing a lot of fear in terms of how global marketers, think about the future of marketing. And we thought this might be a really interesting way of bringing some contrarian views together to really think about how the world is evolving, and a lot of that's frankly driven by social media, which is something that celebs have an enormous amount of influence over. So when we picked Omar and Daz to have this debate, we really thought that it would maybe inspire people to think about things that I actually don't think a lot of people spend time thinking about.
So Omar, Darren, so who is the smartest marketer in your opinions? If I open up with Omar, please.
I don't know if I could say who is the smarter marketer. I think that brands market in a particular way and operate in a particular way because they're big, multi-billion-dollar conglomerates, whereas a global celebrity is a person. And so, I think that we operate in a fashion that we need to. And when you look at those different points of view, what celebrities have been able to do by themselves with social media wasn't available to us 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Could you imagine? So I think that it's exciting. I think technology is sort of pushing both of our businesses forward, and I think that the exciting part, well, not better question than who's a smarter marketer. I think that ultimately global celebrities and global brands are going to have to come together in new and refreshing ways to take advantage of, what's available to us now. So.
Definitely not the endorsements of the old days, if you know what I mean. There's just so many more interesting ways to kind of bring the power of celebritydom and brands together.
Daz?
Thanks, Omar. I could continue the debate and point out all the flaws of celebrity marketing, but that wasn't really the point of what we were talking about. And it was actually to get people to understand there are learnings on both sides. And by understanding the value that celebrities play, but also how they operate, how they bring authenticity to their message, is good for marketers to understand. In the same way that marketers approach brands and the dynamic we use to extend markets or grab new audiences, celebrities can use. So to me, the outlying message in all of this is that there's room for us to both grow and develop using each other, not just for endorsement or content, but from the principle of how we approach marketing. Do
you believe that user-generated content is going to have more and more influence? And how do you see the future platforms evolving with the relationship which you have touched upon today, which is, global celebrities working with the marketers hand in hand?
I don't think that we've plateaued quite yet in UGC. I don't think it's going to get any more important. I think it will continue. I think there's now a balance between celebrities, brands, and just everyday consumers and their content creation. I think, the internet and social media has democratized creativity. And there's always going to be heroes created tomorrow on YouTube, and then there's going to be disasters on Twitter, and then there's going to be brands that succeed. I think now the market's matured, and each has a role to play. The really clever thing happens is when you actually marry those things and change people's behaviour. So not just having good YouTube content, but how do you change people's behaviour with that? How do you monetize that? How do you evolve that? And things like that, I think, will continue. But it gets really smart when we start to see the new platforms come out on how celebrities are bringing their own content to the table. And then if consumers take that and move on. So when's the consumer going to build a platform to sell their own content? That's probably the future of the evolution, not just UGC, as I see it.
Could you tell us just in briefly a little bit what you hoped that the delegates could take away from today's seminar?
I had I think 5 key points that I felt really kind of hit home with the essence of it. So one of them was about the way that the world is kind of connecting. The concept of community is shrinking. So, I think that's something that people need to understand. It's not about markets anymore, at a global level, that digitalization is kind of broken down all of those concepts. A unifying idea, which is something that comes from the SapientNitro approach to thinking about marketing and taking on global challenges. That's something that's a universal language, whether, celebs have unifying ideas, people rally behind these passion points behind them, and brands need them too, so it's a universal language. Excuse me. Excuse me. What were some of the other ones we put on there? I'm blanking out now. If you when it's okay to localize, so whether you're a brand or celeb, you can change yourself on a local level to expand your audience, but you've got to maintain authenticity. And I think if you do that, you'll always be successful. Innovation, maybe it doesn't have to be about spending big dollars to be a R&D powerhouse like maybe big brands are. Maybe it's just about early adoption, trying out platforms. But the one message is, innovate or die. You need to be. The only failure is not to innovate at all. So.